Just squad-wise, first of all, obviously you're forced to make a couple of changes at least. What's the severity of Mikolai's injury?
Yeah, his ribs aren't great, so he'll be probably out for up to a month, I reckon.
How much of a blow is that?
Yeah, look, we haven't really talked about it because, it's not so much of who's not in the team, it's who is in the team and the opportunities those guys have got. But yeah, look, it's unfortunate. I was enjoying coaching him. We'll get another opportunity and hopefully a month's time for him to come back into the team. But like I said, it just gives some other people opportunities to step up and Sam will start and Justin, so they've got a big job to do, and hopefully they make the most of the chances they're being given.
Are the ribs broken?
Yep.
Ouch! I've had broken ribs are horrendous.
Yeah, he's pretty tough. He got through that. He pushed as much as he could through that game last week for us, and but yeah, he's just got to a stage where he's a passenger.
And Cameron Smith, how disruptive is the loss of your captain, and what were your thoughts on the suspension?
To be fair to Cameron, I don't think he's a dirty player, and I don't think he's, as far as I know, he hasn't got a bad record, judiciary wise, and I didn't think there was much in it. So I think it's, I didn't think it was worthy of a week's suspension. Put it that way. I've seen plenty of those tackles in my 4 weeks that I've been here. But again, Jared comes in and will play that 13 role, and it gives him a chance to start and see what he can do for the team.
Just who captained the side on Saturday?
Frawley.
Is that the first time he's captained Leeds?
I would say so, yeah. Yeah. Spoke to him this morning about it and feel like he's the one that's sort of been running the team around the field and owning how we need to play. He's out of his first 2 games for us were really good, and he was okay last week, but his first 2 games he really controlled the game. And he's nice and calm, and he seems like the obvious choice.
It's quite an honour to captain your side. What were his feelings on that?
Yeah, I think he was very pleased, about the opportunity, and we talked to the group about it and, what the group can do to help him with it. And nothing really changes for him and what we need him to do, except, he's got to flick the coin at the start of the game and choose, whether we receive the kickoff or which way we run. But because he's been sort of leading us around the field, but he's just, he's got a good, calming demeanor about him, and like I've just seen some good leadership qualities in him on Wednesday at the end of the training session where we didn't quite get something wrong, and he walked them all back. No, let's go back and do it again. And instead of finishing the session, we need to get this right. So that was good.
Just on Ben Littlewood, Brad, he's obviously a youngster there. He's been in and out of the 21-man squad. How far away is he potentially to getting that opportunity, and what's your rationale more broadly about when the right time is to bring youngsters into a side?
Often when guys like him get opportunity, it's not so much about it's hard to get the timing right. It's more out of maybe necessity or opportunity with the amount, with injuries and that we've got. So he'll be in the 17 this week. How much game time he gets I don't know, and we'll see how the game unfolds. But look, he's a kid of, and I don't know a hoop about him, but he's a kid of potential for the club moving forward. And there's an opportunity to give him a taste and have a bit of a look at him. And why not? Like I said, sometimes you don't always get to give guys these opportunities. Probably when the timing is right for them, physically or development wise, often it's forced upon you, and they can often surprise you. And at least he gets a good feel of where he's at, and it'll give him a feel going into the pre-season of what he needs to do to make sure he puts himself more in the frame next year.
You've been a coach for quite a while now, Brad, but does it still mean something to you to be able to go to a youngster and tell them they're going to make their first grade debut?
Yeah, well, this one's a bit of a tricky one because the guy said that he made his debut, but he didn't actually get on the field at the start of the year. So yeah, but look, it's pleasing, like these young blokes, they work hard, and they don't know when their opportunity is going to present, and it'll be nice and encouraging and a rewarding day for his family too. So hopefully we can get him on the field and get him good opportunity, and the boys can play well, which will make it a memorable one for him.
Let's hope so. What do you expect from Wigan on Saturday?
They're tough through the middle. Like they've got a good strong foundation of how they like to play. They keep it. Well, they play plenty of football and throw plenty at you, but they're very deliberate about what they do. I wouldn't say overly, like they're structured, but they're not overly structured because they've got that bit of off the cuff football. But like I said, they're very deliberate about how they want to play through the middle, earn the right. Kick well, they do all the basic stuff right. So we're going to have to match them and get the simple parts of our game right. Because I feel like over the last couple of weeks, our effort's been really good, and we've been getting off the line hard defensively, and we've improved some of our marker stuff, and we're a bit more positive with our defence. But just some simple things in the game have really let us down, whether it be when we get in our penalties, we're not completing our penalty sets. Some dumb penalties that we've given away, and some sin bins, it's hard to win. And those sin bins are in our own control. So they do the simple things right, and we're going to have to match them in the simple things right, and then make sure our effort is better than theirs.
You'll know Jay Field and Bevan French, of course, from Parramatta. Could you just give us an insight into how it was working with those two? Obviously, you were with Bevan slightly longer than Jay.
Oh, they're both talented, aren't they? And you can see what they're doing in the competition over here. And, like Bev played a bit of wing for me, a bit of fullback, come through as a young bloke, worked really hard. And I'm so happy that he's been able to come over here and kick on and really own a spot. And then, with Jay, he's very electric when he moves with his footwork with the ball. Very hard to handle. So he's someone that you can't give a lot of time and space to. And he's obviously worked hard, and he's toiled away, and he was sort of, in the NRL, he's in and out of teams, and it's good that he's found a home, and, where he's got a permanent role, and he's such an integral part to the team.
With both of them, did you try and keep them at the Eels?
Yeah, we would have liked them to stay, but obviously, when they're sort of in and out of the team, probably better opportunities presented over here in terms of looking after themselves financially and locking down regular spots. Yeah, but both were really great to have and part of a squad, like as squad members, and trained well and did all the right things, and were well respected and liked by the playing group. So
I was just going to say, will you catch up with them beforehand, or will you leave it till after the game?
Yeah, well, if I bump into them, I'll say hello, but don't want to be too friendly with them until after the game, I suppose. But yeah, no, they're good blokes, and when I I heard from Bevy as a few times over the last couple of years, and in particular when I got terminated.
Just lastly for me, it'll be your second home game since taking over. What have you made of the match day experience at Headingley that you'll get to experience again?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I sat from up high last time. I'm going to try and sit down in and amongst it this time, just to get a bit closer to the action. I felt like I was a bit far away, but I really enjoyed the support that we had from our fans, and it's something as a club we need to tap into more, and we need to make sure that our fans and some supporters and members want to come and watch his team play. And that's up to us, and it'd be nice to be able to get to a stage where it's you can't get a ticket to get in the joint. So that's but that's going to be governed by how we play, and the fans actually wanting to come and watch us play. So we want their support. And it was really enjoyable last time, the atmosphere. And I've also enjoyed me a couple of away games too, being amongst it. And, like out there at Salford at the end of the game, I was trying to do a bit of media, was getting sprayed from all angles. It was actually quite interesting.
You've been here a few weeks now. How's it going? You were obviously very enthusiastic when you started. Still enjoying it?
Yeah, well, I'm really enjoying it. I feel like, if I was to stick around, that, it could make, you know, could actually contribute and make a bit of a difference because the buy-in's good and the players actually want to get better. And you know, as a club, everyone's on the track in the same way, wants to get better. And look, we've seen some small improvements along the way. Like we've got to be more consistent with it, but I feel like we have got better at some areas. We just need to be able to maintain that and do it for longer periods of the game, especially when we get a bit tired. Feel like we, you know, fall into some habits that we've got to try and get out of us, but really enjoying it and starting to feel a bit more comfortable around the players and getting to know them a bit more, and they're starting to feel a bit more comfortable around me. Just, you know, just takes a bit of time, but yeah, I like it.
You said if you hang around, obviously, are we any closer to knowing what might happen at the end of this season?
I don't think it'll be too far away as a club. Like, club's got to do what's best for the club, and I want the club, you know, to leave it in a better place than when I came. And so, you know, that'll I would say that'd have to be sooner than later. You know, because they need to know what they're doing moving forward.
Your family have come over now, haven't they? That must make things a little bit
No,
easier.
sorry, my wife doesn't get here until next Saturday. She arrives and she'll be here for a couple of weeks, and then a young bloke's going to come over with his girlfriend for a couple of weeks, and then my daughter. So they're all sort of coming over in dribs and drabs. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, are you still talking to the club actively about next year? Then what's the process at the moment?
Yeah, well, look, we're just going through it. Both parties have been honest and upfront, and that's how it needs to be. And I'm sure, like a decision one way or the other won't be too far away.
And just in terms of Saturday, obviously you mentioned Wigan being tough through the middle. You're low on a couple of middles. Are you confident the players that come in can handle the job? One or two of them will be quite inexperienced, I would imagine.
Yep, but it's you know, all these things always open up opportunities for other people to step up, and it's not just the middles that need to step up. You know, guys in the team around them need to step up to help them do their job better. You know, we got those two big guys starting, you know, in the front row, and then Tom will, you know, he's only played a handful of Super League games. He'll get some opportunity to come on and show us what he's got, and he's been toiling away, you know, with his football, trying to get an opportunity. You know, it's a good opportunity for both our back rows to really step up and help the middles out. So, you know, everyone needs to contribute and help those guys.
Will there be other changes other than the ones that the enforced ones we know about?
No, everyone else. Dave Fischer is back, so he'll get an opportunity. It's unlikely that Ash will play. You know, he's been carrying that hand injury for a while. So yeah, look, but you know, like I said, we haven't focused on who's not in the team. We're focusing on who is in the team and what job they've got to do.
Yeah, and just on that, Ash, how is he? Is that's something that's been bothering him for a while? Is it the hand?
It has, and look, it's something that we need to get fixed as soon as we can get him in to see the right people, and get that fixed, you know, so that it doesn't affect him and his career moving forward. And also, you know, he's a big part of the club moving forward as well. So, you know, he's going to need some work done to his wrist, and as soon as we can get that sorted, we will.
Presumably, Alfie Edgell then will continue on the wing. What have you made of him? He's not an out-and-out winger, is he? I think he's a fullback by trade. But are you happy with some good signs from him?
What he does, he does as he's told. He does his job. He comes with the right attitude and effort, and you know, and he just tries to do as much as he can for the team. You know, like, and he's a good, solid, steady player that does his job every week, and you know, like, and contributes to however we play. He trains well. Yeah, so like, I've enjoyed coaching him.
Just on the pack, there was a feeling on the outside at the start of the year that Leeds were a prop or two light. Is that something you found since you came in?
Look, you know, like, moving forward, I think that, the club we need to just strengthen that area in our roster.
Yeah. Is size or go forward a problem for this team?
No, I don't think so. I just think, you know, like, we need probably just to be a bit stronger in that area in the front row, with making sure that we've got genuine starting front rows.
Yeah. I mentioned size there. There's also been criticism of rugby smarts and even a lack of leadership. What is the biggest thing holding this team back at the moment?
Yeah, look, our leadership is something that we're slowly looking at now and working through, and like trying to, with my approach to how I want to coach, and how we're running meetings and day-to-day business is trying to encourage the players to own more of it and get them to step out. And there might be a few leaders there that we haven't exposed. So it's just about trying to make them feel comfortable, and getting, because on the field they when they're under pressure and under fatigue, they're the guys who've got to own it. So we're trying to do things to encourage more of those guys stepping up and owning the moments, owning them at training, owning the team meetings, holding each other accountable, and that's all part of leadership and growing as a leader.
Is it quite a quiet dressing room to what you used to, or what you were used to at Parramatta?
It's getting better. The talk is becoming better. And like I said, I've just got to keep encouraging that and giving them avenues, and often blokes don't know when to talk because they don't know what to say, or they don't feel comfortable to. So it's just giving them a few cues on what's needed and when it's needed, and how they can deliver it, where it gets a message to everyone, and because everyone listens to it differently and hears it differently. So it's just getting used to, when they're giving their messages on and who they're giving it to, how they deliver it, and it doesn't become personal. It becomes about getting better as a team and a club.
There's obviously a lot of history and expectation at Leeds. Do you get the sense that is weighing heavy on the players?
There is a lot of expectation, and it's such a great club, and it should be. And we probably not probably we should be doing better than where we are right now. And the good thing about it is everyone in the club is committed: players, staff, administration. The owners of the club. Everyone's committed to making sure that it gets to that. So that's the pleasing thing. How long that takes and what we need to do is another part of it.
The fans are obviously used to success and they're pretty low right now. Can you offer them hope for next season or even the rest of this year?
Yeah, well, what I can say is that I'm going to make sure that the players are committed, and the players are going to make sure they're committed to playing every game to the best way we can. And I feel like the effort's been really good for the last 3 weeks. I thought physically that we've been pretty good the last 3 weeks. We just, got to get used to how I want them to play and being able to play and stay in a game for 80 minutes. We're failing to do our job for a full 80 minutes. Like I said, under a bit of fatigue and pressure, we got some habits that we've got to try and untrain and get out and play for longer periods. But everyone's committed to making sure that we finish the season out strong, and if we can get lucky and a few results go our way and things can work out and we're playing finals, great. But we're committed to finishing the season the best way we can, and making sure that there's something to look forward to moving forward for the club.
Yeah, you've obviously started that process. If you were to leave at the end of the year, would a part of you be thinking there's some unfinished business and you would like to see that process through?
Yeah. Yep. And like, I really enjoy coaching. I really enjoy this part of coaching, not projects, but opportunities to make players better, teams better. And that's sort of felt like, well, that was what I was tasked to do at my NRL job. And, it's a good challenge, and it's taken me out of my comfort zone. And I've really enjoyed it. And I certainly, whatever time I have here, I want to make sure that people, when I leave, people say that, it was the right choice for me to come here. I helped the club move forward, and, hopefully, like I said, I've got unfinished business in the NRL and I still want to coach in the NRL. But in 10 years' time, I'd love to be able to come back and coach in the Super League. And, this is the club. I want to make sure I do the right thing by the club, so they want me to come back.
Yeah. Is it your preference at this moment in time to stay on for next year, or have you not got that far yet?
Oh, look, we need a few things to work out. And like I said, I want to coach in the NRL, but it's highly unlikely next year that there'll be an NRL position available. Maybe the year after there might be, but just taking it at the moment I've got a job to do here, and I want to make sure I'm committed to that, and the boys know I'm committed to that. And I feel a big part of it will be if the players continue to buy in and play the way and train and work hard and play like they want me to be. Like that's the other thing. I only want to stay if I feel like I can make a difference. And that's going to be determined on the playing group as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Just finally, reading between the lines on Ash Hanley, could that be him done for the season?
Look, we're going to take it a week at a time. I still think it's a couple of weeks away until he can get in and get whatever's needed to happen. So, but he certainly can't. He's not able to play this week. And then we'll worry about next week if he's a chance. Look, the thing is, he hasn't given up, and he's trying to get himself right to play. And probably played the last couple of weeks, and he shouldn't have. But that just shows you, he was committed to trying to help the team turn it around and fight for a final spot.
You mentioned about how you like to play. Could you elaborate on that philosophy? Are you a coach that likes to play on the front foot, free flowing, spray the ball around, or are you more territory based, ground and pound, make up the yards?
Well, you got to coach and play to the style of footy that like athletically you got in your team and your squad, and what their strengths and traits are. Then I think as part of the Super League, I think everyone's pretty good at moving the football around and playing off the cuff footy. We just got to get the balance right and earn the right and build a bit of pressure, and then know when the right time is to pull the trigger and when to be patient and put other teams under pressure. But it's all about how much pressure you can apply to the opposition, and then how much pressure you can absorb and what you do about it. And we've got some powerful guys in the middle this week, so to start, so they need to own that middle third of the field to allow it to open up for the edges.
And coming in mid-season, is it hard to obstacles and handicaps to coming into a new club to really stamp your influence on it straight away?
Well, I feel like we've made some okay changes that have been seen, like especially with some defence. I feel like we've got better there defensively, and we're trying to be more aggressive, and like we're trying to be more positive from Marco. Still at times we tend to go backwards, and when we get tired and meet the line instead of the other way. And there's always challenges, like looking at stuff, and there's always I can do this and I can do that, but it's you try and add too many things, and then it just builds to confusion, and I'm trying to get more clarity. So got to keep it simple, got to keep it precise, and the boys have got to understand and know exactly what it is we're after. And then, we can small gains along the way, and then we keep, when we get on top of something, we can add something else. But if you try and come in, and it's not so much a fix or an improve, it's just about my style and how I want them to play and what I want them to look like. And you just can't do that overnight.
Yeah. And Brad, final question for me. We speak about tradition and history and heritage in terms of classic teams encounters, and Leeds and Wigan steeped in history, steeped in tradition, a big one for the fans as well. Is that something you take influence on, or do you see it game by game, just next team up, next game, or do you start to tap into that sort of vibe?
At the moment, I'm just trying to tap in about us and what our colours and jersey looks like, and what our logo stands for, and our home ground. And have we got a real clear identity of who we are, and what we stand for? And that's what we've got to work on before we start worrying too much about the opposition. Like, we've got to really nail down what style of football and who they want to be, and who we as a team and a club. So, and that doesn't happen overnight, and you can't do that in 3 games, 6 games. It takes a bit of time to work at, and so then like if you haven't got your jersey colours on one week, our fans need to be able to come and watch us and identify us by how we play, and the style of footy we play, and the effort that we put into the game, more so than what colours we're wearing.